Here's something I've learned in life. I've learned that you will never appreciate how much you love your own family until you get to know the family that you married into. I love looking around the room and seeing one person, a couple, about to clap at that joke. Okay, I was at a wedding a couple years ago. When one of the families came down the aisle, the organist started to play. Du-du-du-dun, du-du-du-dun. You should have seen the ring bearer, just a hand. But I'm glad you guys are here. You know, when you're married, you don't go out as often. I mean, life happens, kids happen, jobs. So you stay at home and you make up your own forms of entertainment. You play married people games, right? Like when you're married, you don't play 20 questions. You play the same question 20 times. Or perhaps you play married people Jeopardy. That's where you gotta answer every single question in the form of a question. Where were you last night? Where'd you think I was? Is that your final answer? Can I phone a friend? Marriage itself is a game. Marriage is a game of chess. It's a chess game because if the king makes one stupid move, the queen will take his castle. Some of you are laughing way too hard at that joke. It's okay. I played that game a few years ago. I became unmarried. And here's what happened. You know, things happen. These things happen. It was amicable. Neither one of us has anything bad to say about the other. And I think the important thing is she and I are still friends. In fact, looking back on it now, I think I might have married above my station in life. My ex-wife is beautiful, gorgeous even, always dressed to the nines. We're one of those couples that you sometimes see in public, and you know which couples I'm talking about. We automatically focus on her and go, wow. Then you notice me and go, wow. Then you look back and you think, I don't get it. I'll bet this is a mail order situation. Oh, I gotta tell you about this. My ex-wife, she got remarried, so her new husband called me up. He wanted to borrow money. He wanted to borrow $200 from me so he could take her someplace nice for her birthday. I said, man, you've got some great cell phone coverage to reach me here on Earth all the way from your planet. I said, dude, you got the Barbie doll, accessories not included. As I mentioned, I'm still friends with my ex, and I had to ask her, I says, babe, look, it's none of my business. What do you see in this guy? He spends money on me. Yeah, I know, it's affecting my credit. So, here's the thing I've learned. Maybe when somebody moves out, you ever notice this, where you have either a significant other or maybe even a roommate moves out. You never know how much stuff is actually gone until you need it, right? I found myself sitting on my sofa eating a bowl of cereal. Shut up, I'm using the bowl. I fed you already. Have you ever noticed this, that if you're in a relationship with somebody, any sort of committed relationship, it doesn't seem like everywhere you look, there are single, available, attractive people all over the place. But the second you split up, they're all gone. Right? It's like trying to find a roll of toilet paper in a pandemic. It's hard to find, I'm telling you. It's difficult to find somebody you have a lot in common with. That's my point. I had a girlfriend a couple of years ago that was a lot younger than me. I mean, a lot younger. So here's what we had in common. Poor judgment. Here's an example of the age difference with this young lady. I have a tattoo on my shoulder. And the first time she saw my tattoo, she said, oh, really, a tattoo? It's like some sort of a midlife crisis? I said, no, my tattoo is not a midlife crisis. You're my midlife crisis. Now, hand me another gummy bear. And this girl loved the way European guys dress. She wanted to dress me like a European guy. And I do not understand European fashion for men. Because one time as a present, she buys me a little leather bag. And says I put my change and my driver's license and my keys and stuff in it, and it had a strap. It's like I wear it over my shoulder like the guys do in Europe. I said, wow, that's great, but you know what? In America, that's a purse. And I am so not gonna wear that in public. And she says, well, why not? Why not? Because I have no shoes to match it. It's a purse, what's wrong with you? So get this, because I wouldn't wear this thing, she says I'm unsure of my masculinity. I said, no, that's not it. What I am afraid of is putting on my new purse and then running into a bunch of construction workers and they're unsure of my masculinity. It cuts both ways, though. Guys, never buy women clothing as a present, right, ladies? Cash, gift certificates, pick out your own clothing. That's what I did for my last girlfriend. For her birthday, I got her a gift card to Lane Bryant. Shut up, I didn't know. I am sorry, I had no idea, ladies, that Lane Bryant is the Big and tall men store for women. I didn't know that. Here's the difference. The big and tall store for men says big and tall. Right on the front of the store. Women don't communicate that way. Lane Bryant says fashion accessories to women, which tells me nothing. Because seriously, if I was going to guess which store by name is for larger sized women, I would have guessed Dress Barn. You know you're getting a bad gift when the person giving you the present says, it's the thought that counts. Right? Then you open and go, man, what the heck were you thinking? Oh, man. My aunt went to Scotland last year. So as a gift, she got me a kilt. Where am I going to wear a kilt? Well, I wore it once, but that shouldn't count. It was laundry day. I did. I had all my jeans and stuff in the wash, put the kilt on. That thing was comfortable, I'll admit it. In fact, I forgot I had it on. Of course, everybody else in the laundromat noticed. They're staring at me going, wow, that is the ugliest Catholic girl I've ever seen in my life. I have one female friend that 3 or 4 times a year likes to buy me houseplants as a present. Houseplants. Nice gesture, except I can't take care of plants. They just perish in my care. And every time this woman, oh, here's a little plant, just to brighten up your bedroom. Yeah, because you know, nothing is cheerier than waking up to brown wilting foliage. Thank you, that is very festive. And she's one of these crazy plant people. You know the type? She tells me I have to talk to my plants. You know these types of people? You have to talk to your plant. Say something to your plant. Yeah, welcome to death row. Here's what gets me with this woman. She has to walk right past my ugly lawn to give me the plant. I got the worst looking lawn in my neighborhood. The only thing on my lawn that's green is a beer bottle. That's it. I'm not good with plants. Women are much better with taking care of plants than guys are, in general. Although I shouldn't generalize, because I do have one buddy of mine, he's really good with plants. I know, because he grows them in his basement under a black light. He talks to his plants a lot. Here's the worst bad gift story I can share you guys. My parents were married for 50 years, and my dad had a genuine talent for buying my mother the worst gifts in the world. But ladies, think about the worst, horrible thing your guy ever got you. Multiply times 1 billion. Here's what my dad actually bought my mom once for my anniversary. My dad bought my mom a cemetery plot. I know. If that's not bad enough, my dad was bragging about it. Hey, you know, I managed to get 2 of them, side by side. Like they're playoff tickets. I mean, the funniest thing to me is my mom said, I'll tell you something, one of them's gonna get used tomorrow. My dad was a piece of work. Maybe some of you guys had a dad like mine. When I was a kid, I had one of those fathers that no matter where we went as a family, my dad always had a camera hanging around his neck. But he never, ever, ever finished a roll of film in his life. I swear my dad had this one roll of film in the camera since 1963. We finally got it developed. We found the second gunman in a Kennedy assassination. You know, sometimes you can see the generation gap on that joke, because anybody under 30 is looking at me right now going, what the heck is film? I remember when I was 6, I asked my dad to take me to the zoo. Instead, he took me to the horse track. He says, you know, this is even better than the zoo, because you get to see animals and you learn money management skills. Great till we got home. Mommy, Daddy took me to the zoo. What was your favorite animal? Number 3 horse in the 5th. My dad passed away a few years ago. My mom retired, moved out to California. Lives near my brother and my cousin. And I live on the East Coast. So I fly out there 3 or 4 times a year to see her. But in her mind, it's like I'm driving home from college. She has boxes of stuff to give me they can't possibly take on the plane. Oh, we're talking stuff like a floor lamp, an upright vacuum cleaner, 5 gallons of soup. Last time I'm there, she hands me kitchen knives, 7 huge kitchen knives. I said, Mom, I got carry-on. I can't take this on the plane. She says, well, why not? They frown on weapons. That's why not, Mom. She says, they're not weapons. If they're cutting meat and cheese and bread and fish, just tell them at the airport you're only going to use them in the kitchen. Well, of course. Why wouldn't that work? Oh, Mr. TSA guy? Oh, these big knives? I can bring them on board. I have a note from my mother.